You watch? What is this? South Korea is broken.
Politicians are all morons! They will do literally everything to try and fix their birth rate problem rather than getting to the main cause. The literally everything includes a politician promoting Kegel exercises or suggesting girls start school a year earlier than boys to make them more appealing.
What? What the fuck are you talking about? Cause I heard that was a kid diddler. Yeah, I heard that was a pedophile.
If you ever watched any of Bong Joon-ho's movies, you would know that the main message of all of his amazing movies is South Korea is a fucked up place. This country is literally ran by Samsung, LG, and Hyundai Kia. They have a horrible work and school culture, but by far the most important quote-unquote challenge they face is the horribly low birth rate they have. It is the worst in the world, and it's recently plummeted down.
Bro, I'm so glad more people are talking about how shitty South Korea is. Thank fuck. I will say, as a South Korean, as a Korean born, literally born in South Korea, right? I'm a natural born South Korean. For half of my life, I've been mauling, seething every time seeing these fucking K-pop Andes talk about how perfect Korea is, how much they love Korea. Oh my god, Koreans are so perfect. Oh, Korea, 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 Korea this, Korea that. Oh my god, shut the fuck up.
Down to 0.72 births per woman. A country needs a birth rate of 2.1 to keep their current population, let alone grow it. And they're at 0.72. So why do the South Korean women not want to make babies with these handsome, rich, cute little twinks? They fuck with the other guy. They ask me to give up my seed. South Korea is miles ahead in misogyny technology than every other country in the world. Among Korean men, there is
To be fair, I don't think it's entirely about misogyny only, right? I think there's plenty of other, right? I mean, unless Japan is the same way. I don't know Japan because I'm not Japanese. I don't know Japan. Does Japan have a misogyny issue? I don't think so, right? It is as well because Japan's birth rate is very comparable to Korea's. So I don't know if it's that. This is why, like, I don't want to entirely say it's 100% the misogyny issue because I think it's not. It is partly that, but on top of that, I think it's also the work culture in Asia. Like, those two compounded together form societies in which people, especially the youth, are in a position where they don't fucking want to settle down. They don't want to have kids. They don't want to, like, get too, like, set in their way too early in life and want to fucking live their life because the work life, everything is just so much shit, right?
a widespread perception that designated seats for pregnant women are an excessively female-friendly policy, to the point where it became a trend on the internet to protest this policy by posting photos of dudes sitting in these seats as a form of protest. Imagine you're a woman in South Korea, right? You already have these unbelievable, unrealistic beauty standards where to be considered pretty, you have to be basically a supermodel.
You know what's so crazy to me? During the whole fucking sit on the pregnant seat, like, meme movement that was going on in Korea during this time, bro, I swear to God, like, nobody in the West ever talked about this. No one in the West ever brought this up. It was just fucking K-pop this, K-pop that. Oh my god, BTS is gonna be on Jimmy Kimmel! Ah! Like, oh my god. I hate them. I hate these motherfuckers. Stop. Like, Korea is shit, and you guys are just worshiping these people.
Injuries per capita in the world, with over 1 million operations happening every year, and with every 1 in 4 women aged 19 to 29 already having plastic surgery done, with men being 2%. On top of this, these motherfuckers decide to give you the largest wage gap on the planet for your hard work. And
what movement? So there's like two. I would say this is basically Korea, right? So there's this group over here, right? Guys. Right? And then there's these girls who are disgruntled girls from how badly the guys treat the girls, right? And then the guys have labeled the girls as extremist feminists for wanting equal rights. And then the girls have labeled the guys as misogynist pigs. And so, even though one group is quite possibly 10 times the size of the other, right? So these two go at it. And basically, even though there's lots of girls who aren't part of this movement, they basically fall under, like, you know, any actions that these guys do against any, like, basically you could be a normal girl that might just like do something that a guy, like one of these people like within the movement that is like against the extremist feminists, as they call them, right? They might just like dub you as being part of that group because you're doing something that they don't deem as like girly enough, and then suddenly you fall into that umbrella and get targeted as well. It's just fucking. It's just some crazy shit.
Criminalized abortion in 2021, 3 years ago. It's not legal now, but it's not illegal either. Me personally, if I was a woman, I would be crashing out and tweaking. Man, fuck men in particular, but not literally, which is how the 4B movement spawned, which means no dating, marriage.
Oh yeah, here we go.
You hear that, kings? They need pro-breeders. All your
Oh,
goonin'
my
has
God.
led to this go save Fob's motherland chat. It's not to D, but I believe in you still.
Childbirth or sex with dudes, and when your country's laws about women are written by John Jones and Harvey Weinstein, with intense misogyny, discriminatory laws, and the highest wage gap in the world, it is no surprise this movement spawned in South Korea. You know what does not help either? South Korea being the most expensive place in the world to raise a child, costing around $270,000 to raise a child until the age of 18. In second place is the glorious People's Republic of China. Taiwan, South Korea, your destiny is to be obliterated into nothing by a Chinese Dongfeng missile. South Korea has this phenomenon called academic elitism, where basically if you don't go to the best universities they have to offer, your life is basically over. You're gonna
Yep.
get a shitty job, no money, you'll be sucking dick behind the KFC on Daihakro Street for money.
Yep.
And then there are the Sky universities, Seoul, Korea, and Yonsei universities. Whether
Yep.
or not you get into one of these three universities decides your financial and social position in the country for the rest of your life. It's like parkour civilization. So there's a huge pressure on the Korean youth to get into one of these, which is why private tutoring has a whole term for it called hagwons, and why it's a $20 billion industry.
Basically,
Because
the biggest companies in Korea, like Samsung, do not look at you unless you're from one of these three. And like the most prestigious jobs in Korea are considered to be under those companies. So like if you fail the entrance exams and your grades just aren't good enough, right? This is why so many students jump off the Hangang River Bridge and just commit suicide, because they know that their life is
I
essentially
don't quite
set in
understand
stone.
how this topic
as
is
to
funny
being
to
like,
Twitch
okay,
chat,
I'm
as
never
I
gonna.
was born in South Korea and have Korean parents. But the meme culture can be funny, I will admit.
Yeah. But like, so essentially, right? They just end their life because at this point, because that they failed the entrance exams, their life is automatically set to guarantee be mediocre. They will never. So let's say this is the amount of money you can make if you got into one of the Sky universities, right? If you fail to get in there, you're forever locked behind this gate. You will never get above it. You will forever be below it, working lower jobs, lower fucking positions, doing whatever dog shit work. But like, if you get into these, the sky is the fucking limit. You can do anything. So it's just, imagine at like 18 years old, this is already determined for you. Whether you will be successful in life or in the bottom of society. And you wonder why the suicide rate is so high.
you get into
But K-pop.
one of these three universities decides your financial and social position in the country for the rest of your life. It's a $20 billion industry, because every parent, no matter their financial capability, wants their child to succeed. And since Korean society is set up in a way where you need to go into the Sky schools, Korean households spend more on
Do actors go there as well? No. So actors, Well, it depends, right? There's obviously acting schools as well, but like, there's a lot of like agencies that specifically, especially for like younger actors, they get scouted at like a very young age and are, this is why right now in Korea, if you watch Korean dramas, and it's been a thing as old as time, right? If you watch Korean dramas for any amount of time in the last like 2 decades, you probably notice, that kid seems to be in every fucking drama. It's because, right, you get established as a kid actor, and then you become like the famous kid actor, and you just see them in every fucking drama as a fucking kid, and then every single time, and then they grow up, and then they become an even more established actor, and then boom, that's your whole highway is set. And same thing with like music idols as well, right? Basically, these agencies go out scouting into these different neighborhoods, or parents bring their kids in, and then basically, there's like hundreds of kids, and then like maybe like 2 or 3 selected as to be like, okay, and now we bring these kids together, they're all like 9 or 10, and then we're gonna train them for years and years and years. Oh, and now we have Blackpink, or oh, we have New Jeans, and then like stuff like that. That's basically how it works.
Private tutoring than housing and food. Because of these exorbitant prices, households can barely afford one kid, let alone
Why does
more. And they
Korea
also
have so much
probably don't
hierarchy
want to
type
put their
ruling in their
kids through
social
the
life?
same education hellhole they went through.
It's a society built on elitism.
8-hour entrance exam? Real question.
Where do you think the memes of Asians needing perfect scores and A's all the time comes from? Asians just generally have very elitist like mentalities. All right, you need to bring success. Your family needs success. Your family name is on the line. Like, you need to be successful. Like, it's just a very Asian thing.
48 hours
Neo-Confucianism, yeah.
entrance exam that decides the rest of your life. Discuss in the comments below. The Korean entrance exam, CSAT, aka Kokskibidi ass torture, literally has killer questions that are bullshit questions just to make the student scores lower. A lot of times these questions aren't included in normal schools either, but are only included in these private tutoring schools. So already, if your kid is not in those expensive private cram schools, he's set back by this capitalist shithole called South Korea. And these killer questions are either some insane delusion.
Yup, another great part, right? In Korea, it's called hagwons, right? So, now imagine right now, chat, what do most of you guys do in the morning as a student? Okay, you wake up, right? Go to school, right? Let's say you guys have a life. I don't think so, but like, let's say you have after school activities. All right? After school activities. And then you come home, right? And then dinner, homework, whatever, right? In Korea, right? Wake up, go to school. In some cases, even here, they fucking have like some little fucking lesson. And then after school, okay, first hagwon for, let's say, math. Okay, and basically hagwon is like extra lessons, and then after that there's another hagwon you want to take for English, right? And then and another one for who knows what, right? And then it's 9 p.m. I got off school at 3, but I've been at hagwons for 6 hours after school, and now I get to go home. Yeah.
Do the algebra questions that have not been solved by any
Why?
mathematician.
The traditional social pyramid was King, Yangban, Chungin, Sangmin, Kyomin. Now it's Jabel everyone else.
Yeah, why? Well, this goes back to, you have to get into these 3 universities, or else you will forever live your life in the dirt, in the lower class. That's why the parents put tons of money and resources into putting their students into every single course, hagwon, whatever they need to do, so that they could give their kids the best opportunity to get into these colleges. And if they fail, well, shit, right? Like,
ever or some obscure literary takeouts. What did Tyler respond to Kai Cenat when Kai asked her out on a date? Oh my god, bro. They only decided to remove these questions last year, so good job on that. But Koreans still spend nearly $20 billion a year on these private tutoring schools. Usually what happens in a normal Korean teen's day is they go to school from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., already 8 hours of classes, and then goes to the private cram school, which usually goes from
This guy's literally just repeating everything I'm saying, by the way. It's almost like I know what I'm talking about. Oh my god.
6 to 9.
It's not pre-watched.
11 hours
I
of
literally
classes,
lived
and then
this,
the
chat. I literally went to Korean middle school. I literally lived this for like 3 years of my life, okay?
rest of the day is spent studying at home before falling asleep and lacking on sleep. A lot of people estimate that they spend 12 to 17 hours a day just
Proof or
studying.
did it happen?
Hey,
Okay.
why are the fertility rates low? Bro, if you told me I had to study 15 hours a day, the last thing on my mind would be making kids. I want to make kids out of spite of what this world has to offer. Because why would I want to let my kids go through this hellhole called studying in South Korea? A big part of their demographic crisis is that they are extremely urbanized, and as all problems, it always comes down to fucking real estate. Over half of South Korea lives in the Seoul metropolitan area, because that's where all the Sky universities are. So everyone who wants to live well has to live in Seoul, and also because there are a bunch of construction restrictions that don't allow for a lot of housing to be built. So the limited housing in Seoul is basically a bidding war between Samsung higher-ups, normal South Koreans, and the guy from Squid
That's
Game.
normal. I had that when I studied for exams. I don't know. That wasn't bad for me. Oh, for exams? This is year round. Every year of your fucking life. 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade. This isn't just for an exam, buddy. This is your entire childhood. Like, what do you mean just an exam? This is non-stop. Like Kumon? Yeah, I think Kumon times like hardcore Kumon.
And the bidding war usually ends in the Samsung higher-ups buying these apartments, renting it to normal South Koreans for huge sums of money, and the guy from Squid Game sucking dick behind the Shake Shack in Yong District for 2,500 won so he can keep chain-smoking his SA lights. In 1928, Stalin started the first 5-year plan, and the goal was to move these stupid, dumb, illiterate peasant farmers out from the farms and get them into cities where there was big industry and make them make tractors and a bunch of other cool shit. By moving illiterate peasants out from these big farms and cramming them into apartments, the Soviet Union's birth rate crashed. In peasant farmer societies, children are usually encouraged because they're more of a free labor and not as much of a financial burden.
Okay.
However, in cities,
All
raising
right.
children is expensive, and you also don't get a large family to help with farming. You're all alone in that Samsung factory, resulting in this, where you can clearly see that the fertility rates in big cities are much, much lower than their less urbanized areas. In Vienna's airport, they made the benches purposefully uncomfortable to keep people from sleeping on it. A real dedicated sleeper like me will never succumb to the capitalist invention of anti-homeless infrastructure. And even though these metal roads were hitting me straight in my hips, I had an amazing 8-hour-long sleep in this airport. Governments will spend hundreds of thousands of dollars building anti-homeless infrastructure just for me to sleep on it, when the only anti-homeless infrastructure that works is giving the homeless homes. And yeah, South Korea is cooked on all fronts. Not only everything I mentioned, but also their views are literally the complete opposite of women. It's like the South Korean male population thinks women are their enemy, because what even is this divide? It's literally just two opposite extremes, and the chances of them getting along to the point where they would want to have children is slim to none. Because of this toxic work, education, and dating culture, South Korea has the highest self-end rate in a first world country. Recently, I went out for a walk in Tbilisi with Gio.
Bro, like I will always use this example for people who don't believe in like the toxic like misogyny shit, right? In Korea. Just remember there was the Burning Sun case, right? Where basically idols were manipulating women to like basically sex traffic them nonstop and taking like videos of them and spreading them. And like it was some fucked up shit, drugging them, all that shit, right? And then a female reporter, right, specifically breaks the news. And what happens? Nobody believes her. Everybody says she's some fucking extremist feminist pig trying to fucking bring down the man. all that shit. Her name got absolutely slandered, everything. And then it all turned out to be true. Guess what? Nobody fucking apologized to her. They didn't fucking care. Right? It didn't fucking matter.
Poll discussing important topics such as Diddy and Skibbity Toilet. And when I came back to my apartment, my Lenovo monitor had broken itself. Hong Kong had disappointed me. The warranty people told me it would take 3 weeks.
Yeah, and then her life got completely ruined. The journalist, right? Her life got completely ruined. She lost her jobs and all that. And then the idols who were involved in sex trafficking, literally drugging women and basically raping them as well, 2 years. 2 years in jail. They learned their lesson, you know. They're idols, you know. We can't, you know.
I would genuinely rather be waterboarded.
Korea, by the way.
Have access to my computer for 3 weeks. So I went ahead and got a new Samsung monitor. With this, I contributed to the mafia, not so secretly running the country of South Korea. In 2017, the son of the chairman of Samsung literally bribed the president for a corporation favor that would benefit Samsung.
Is he gonna talk about the judge literally let him out of jail because he's like, oh, he's Samsung. Bro, literally
exposed for it. The president got overthrown and Lee got sentenced to 5 years in prison. Then they reduced it to 2.5 years and released him after serving only 1 year in prison. Then for some reason
it makes no sense. It's so stupid. The people are this fucking country's dumb, man.
He had a retrial about this, got sentenced back to prison for 2 years and 6 months. And then when there was a global chip shortage in the world, Joe Biden went to South Korea because America needed more chips, and the new president of South Korea pardoned the chairman of Samsung.
You can't make this shit up, bro. You can't. You really can't. This country is like politically corrupt. It's fine. You know what the worst part is? You know about the president that he said got sent to jail? She got pardoned too! She fucking did some crazy...
2 years in the war, American pardoned the chairman of Samsung, and now he leads Samsung. I'm really liking this monitor though. Like, look, I can rotate it and watch Instagram.
Bro, Chad, I'm telling you, man.
I don't know what it would take for the South Korean government to realize that their ultra-capitalist society is the cause for all their difficulties, such as being an incel, pulling 2014 ISIS numbers.
Do you think the next
and
president will
real estate
pardon the
market
current
being
president?
horrible.
Probably.
Also, the three big companies, but mainly
Listen,
Samsung, have so
I'm very happy to be Korean, right? I think being Korean is cool. Because Korea's cool. But man, I fucking hate my country.
much power over there that every politician is there to serve Samsung's interests and not the South Korean people. You guys already saw how Samsung literally bribed the president with $37 million, and that is only one of the things they have been exposed for. Just imagine how many secret deals have been taking place with Samsung's leaders and Korean politicians. I do not care how much money you have. If you're going to be alone for the rest of your life and also hold some extreme beliefs about the opposite sex and also never be able to own a home for yourself, no matter how much money you have either way, because Samsung exists, what's the point? And government-funded matchmaking events to try and get people to talk to each other is not going to fix the fact that even if they really liked each other, they wouldn't be able to afford the home because Samsung keeps buying up all the property to the point where they have their own little town dedicated to themselves. But a bunch of corporations have their own office towns. This isn't my big beef with them. I hope my Samsung monitor does not shut itself off using their Samsung AI to detect the words I'm writing and fucking explode my monitor. Because people in Korea get born in the Samsung medical
I forget the exact number. But like Samsung, Samsung is what percentage of South Korea's GDP? I don't know if this is okay. 22.4%. Bro, I don't think there's a single company in the entire world who can say that they are 22% of an entire nation's GDP. And you wonder why. They, oh my God. Am I muted? Is this... Oh, he had to mute this part for DMCA. Okay.
The next most significant percent of GDP is Toyota of Japan, 5%. Walmart has about 2.5% of the
This is
US
genuinely a
GDP.
cyberpunk dystopia if I've ever heard one, where one company
The
controls
US military is
everything
4%
and bribes
of the
the
country's
president. These
GDP,
huge
so
country-controlling,
Samsung proportionally
family-owned
is 5
companies are
times
the
as
cause
big
of
as the
nearly all
US
of South
military.
Korea's problems.
Aware.
But they
Yeah.
enable you to watch Instagram reels on a full 4K screen in portrait mode. Basically, if you're South Korean, you only have 3 options: Samsung worker, professional League of Legends player, or a K-pop idol. And when you become a K-pop idol, you are basically signing your human rights away to become a
Yup.
slave for a management company, where you live in dorms with your group members that are about to debut and literally starve yourself as a diet, usually eating about a
And then you think all the K-pop fans would actually know how fucked up the idol industry is as well? Like how many like in the last fucking decade, bro, just like alone, how many times people in the idol industry were outed as being absolutely fucking, you know, the most manipulative monsters. Like the number of idols who have committed suicide due to all that stuff as well. It's like, oh my god, there's like not even the K-pop industry is even good. Like everything is just bad. Like, is there a single fucking good thing that comes out of Korea? Okay, the food's good.
1,000 calories a day. These women are stronger
Pep
than
isn't
most
thinking for
men
the
in the
raid.
Galactic Empire.
Yeah, the
I
food's
mean,
pretty
American
good.
military.
Yeah.
Because they eat basically nothing all day and train these dances for 8 to 10 hours a day. Aren't allowed to leave without permission and are not allowed to date anyone.
Didn't a girl unalive because of the news thing you talked about earlier, like an idol? I forgot her name. So she did help in trying to get the Burning Sun story out. And yeah, I think it was Kuhara. Yeah, I think it was Kuhara. Yeah. She was I believe she was involved in trying to get the Burning Sun scandal out there. But like there were a whole lot of shit involved and she got a lot of shit for that as well. And then that led one thing to another and then she committed suicide as well. It's like
And after 2 to 4 years of training, they might not even debut because their management company will refuse it. So put some fucking respect on K-pop's name. You might not like the music, but the work these people put in and the literal slavery they had to go through to get to where they are is just respectable. Game recognizes game. If I was a slave for 4 years and then random American teenagers made fun of me because I look gay and have plastic surgery, I would tweak out. I would defect to North Korea and send one of their Hwasong 19 missiles to that kid's house. Bye-bye, Russia. What do you think nearly all
What?
the cinema
Is that a
comes
real
out of
clip?
South Korea is about hating
Okay,
rich,
see,
big,
what?
corrupt companies such as Parasite and Squid Game? This is their reality that they're living through. Side note, on top of this, they require me a visa to go there? Hell
that is always my favorite part, chat. You know what my favorite part is? That some of the most successful, no, if not all of the most successful South Korean films and shows, right, like Parasite and Squid Game here, right? Korea loves that these are so successful. Korea's like, oh yeah, man, we got, right, wow, amazing, give them awards, huge. But like, it's like the Korean government doesn't realize and the Korean people don't realize that these films and shows are literally depicting Korea as the dystopian piece of shit society it is. So it's like, sure, on one hand, is it great that a South Korean director and like actors are successful? Sure, but like, are you guys paying attention to what the fuck the story's telling? Like, because if you pay attention, it's not fucking good, you
all
know?
the cinema that comes out of South Korea is about hating rich, big, corrupt companies such as Parasite and Squid Game. This is their reality that they're living through. Side note, on top of this, they require me a visa to go there? Hell nah. You know who doesn't require a visa for me? The European Union and China. I know who I'm choosing. Like and subscribe and goodbye.
天上太阳红呀红彤。
Actually good. Actually well made, informative video. Nice. I had to mute audio from 1040 to 1130. Okay, that was why that whole Samsung bit was muted. Okay. Can you link it? Yeah, sure. Hey, listen. I'm just glad there's a video out like this that can like actually confirm everything I'm saying. Literally everything I said, chat, he literally said like 30 seconds later. It was kind of crazy. This isn't even pre-watch. I don't even know who this guy is, but like it was kind of scary. It's like he was reading my mind. But yeah. Jesus. Like the video? Sure. You know what? Honestly, I'll subscribe to it. That was a banger video. There's a Korean American Johnny Kim, which is like the perfect Asian son. I don't even know who that is.